Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to day number 2 on the road to 2000 ELO. And yesterday, we got the win. And I really want to say I appreciate all of the comments, the thoughts, the feedback you guys shared. It really, really means a lot. For those of you who liked the video and who subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, now is the perfect time to do just that. I will be recording and uploading every day, so to be notified, just make sure to hit that subscribe button. Very easy to do, you know? I do it for other YouTubers all the time. And with that being said, we're going into day number 2. The first game was a very quick one, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of a more interesting game, to say the least. So let's try it out. I think we're just going to hop right in and see what happens. Um, and here we go. We already have our game. So we're playing against somebody from Greece, and we're playing as white again. So let's see if we get a Sicilian one more time. We do not. So now we're going to play e4, e5. And against e4, e5, I like to play knight f3. And I personally like to go knight c3 here. So I like to play the 4 knights if possible, and we're walking right into it. And I play a 4 Knights Scotch going d4 afterwards. So here, let's see if my opponent knows their theory. So I believe that the next... Wow. What an interesting move. That is definitely not theory. I believe the theory is typically pawn takes. The logic in this move isn't too crazy. I guess your if takes, knight takes back, which, you know, would lead to something like this, which wouldn't be bad at all for black. In a position like this, though, I don't need to take. I kind of like the fact their bishop's blocking their pawn, and I'm going to play d5 without thinking about it too much. And this is such an interesting position. It's already weird to me. I'm thinking maybe I can go bishop g5 and try to double their pawns. I don't really see any way of avoiding that. I assume they want a castle on the king side. So let's do this. Let's go bishop g5. With my logic being that, unless if he... Okay, he moves the knight out of the way. This makes a lot of sense. So now I can't double the pawns. The queen's going to take it back. That checks out. And let's see, where do I want my light squared bishop to be? It's my last piece that hasn't really been developed. I could also try to aim at this dark squared bishop by going something like knight b5 here. I like the fact that my bishop's pinning the knight to the queen at the moment. Also, where's this knight trying to go? Maybe a move like g3 and bishop g2 would be interesting. And, you know, the only problem is it kind of walked into this wall that I've created, a wall of my own doing. So maybe not, but... Is the knight a problem going on any of these two squares? Definitely not this one. This one's more than okay. If the knight goes here, there's no real threat being made. So maybe I bring my bishop out onto d3, reinforce this pawn on e4, and allow my knight to maneuver forward. So let's do that. We're going to go bishop d3. He castles on the king side. That makes sense. I too will castle on the king side, I believe. I could also just start launching pawns. Which, honestly, the more I think about it, the more I like this. Because this knight really doesn't have much space to work with. I do think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go h4. And my idea... Okay. I see. I should have thought about that. Maybe. Sometimes there's ideas of sacrificing, Greek gift ideas. Here, not so much. It does completely open the king, and then this queen move here looks interesting. But the problem is that knight g4 comes in, defending the pawn, and I don't really have an easy way of kicking out the knight. So let's bring the bishop back. Where do I bring it back to is the question. Where do I bring the bishop back to? Maybe I can even take, and after queen takes, I can push forward. That's an option. I don't necessarily like that option too much. I should think relatively quickly. I am going down significantly on time here. My opponent was playing very fast. Let's go. How about we go to d2? How about that? So we're going bishop d2. This preserves this move. This preserves ideas of sacrificing on h6. I also have queen c1 as a possibility if I do want to commit to that sacrifice. So let's see what happens. Ideally, I like to keep pushing these pawns. Okay. The bishop coming out onto c5 and realizing that, okay, now he's got to waste the move. moving twice. This is no longer, well, it's still a move, but it doesn't really do much because the knight just goes back. Actually, wait, doesn't this just win a pawn? Quite cleanly, I might add. It looks like it does. The one thing to consider is knight here is a possibility afterwards. So perhaps I should try to counteract that, but let me go here first. See what my opponent does. If my opponent moves the knight, then I can just take. Wow. What's he trying to do? Can't I just take this pawn? I'm trying to take this. You know what? Fair enough. I'm gonna trade. This pawn's gonna be very weak. And afterwards I will defend here. Now what's the best way to defend there? Defending this square, huh? Castling is an option. I don't know if I like castling too much right now, but I think it's probably my best option. The other option is rook f1, but that looks bad. Just because then this becomes a major. I mean, then I lose this pawn. I lose this pawn anyways, though. I gotta think. Huh. Might have misevaluated here. Can I stop this move? I can. I can go rook here right now. Let's do it. This does not feel like high level chess though. This feels like pretty trash chess, I'm not gonna lie. Rook h4 looks super random. He's trying to go on the queen side now, so I'm gonna move my queen out of the way, probably attack this pawn, force him to defend it. If he tries to defend this way, I take with en passant. Also, that was a free pawn. Wait, what am I doing? What is he doing? What's my opponent doing? This doesn't really make sense to me. Okay, well, we'll take the pawn, I guess. I don't see the logic here. Perhaps I'm missing something completely. My opponent's playing extremely fast. Almost abnormally fast, I should say. Maybe he thought he had this, but en passant, obviously. And maybe I should be scared of something like this, too. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there's possibility of just sacking and then playing this, but I mean, right now it doesn't work. I am significantly down on time. I will say that. Maybe e5 is a move. I'm going to castle long and then play e5. I definitely want to castle long. This is a very, very imbalanced game, though. A very imbalanced game. This one's a weird one. I don't know how we got to this position. Analyzing is going to be interesting, because I definitely did not play all the best moves. That much I am pretty confident about. And my opponent's actually taking their first deep think of the game. And I say deep think because they thought for over a minute. Which is a really good sign for us. As it stands right now, I'm very low on time compared to my opponent. It's becoming maybe a blitz game for me. So hopefully the more time my opponent spends thinking, the more closer it gets to an equal sort of game when it comes to the clock. The clock is, after all, a piece, as is a common expression in playing chess. Here I thought I had rook takes on g4 because 2 pieces for a rook sounds awfully good. And, okay, so he played that very quickly. Maybe he saw nothing better. I'm going to try to get my knight into the game and push these pawns forward. That's my plan. That is my plan. Maybe even go queen g3 first, just to make sure that I don't lose any material. Maybe I can even go queen h4 to try to queen h4 to try to trade the queens. I am up in material right now. So queen h4 makes a lot of sense to me. It protects this. I can castle long. And also, I offer a queen trade, so he has to waste another move, moving his queen out of the way. And afterwards, when I castle, I think I'm doing just fine. Okay. And we are now in a solid position. I I'm going to just play f3 here, so I can free up my bishop, move it. Although f3 kind of immobilizes my bishop. Can I play f4? I think I can. I'm just going to castle first. I see no reason not to castle. Oh, shoot. That is a reason not to castle. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. That's funny. Okay. Well, we lost the pawn. It is what... Okay, that's not a pawn. Oh my god, I thought I lost another pawn there. I'm tripping. Okay, cool. We're doing okay. I'm really sad about losing the pawn. It would have helped a lot with breaking through on their king side? King side, that sounds right. Let's just go a3 here. Not allow this move. The bishop's not trapped. Would have been really nice. Maybe if they play something like here. Okay, well, they're seeing through what I wanted to try to do. I'm going to go rook g1 now. Rook g1 is a little annoying because then he can go back to bishop e3. So let's see what happens. Maybe if that happens, I can... if that does happen, I can move out of the way and then try to create a safe square protecting e3. Okay, he's trying to stop me from moving my pawn forward, but I can just go knight e2. And I'll be able to make some progress with my pawn. Rook f1 is a very natural move here, forces him to move his bishop again. My goodness, that bishop is annoying. All right, let's make some progress now. I'm probably going to play c3 at some point and try to use these knights. And I'd move my king onto c2 as well. So that I don't need my king to support that bishop. So let's go c3. I'm also strong on the light squares compared to my opponent, which is nice. So c3, king c2 makes a lot of sense. And this lets me move my knight. I want to go to king c2 first, just to make sure my bishop is not a loose piece. That is the main reason. Primary reason. The cool thing about minor pieces is that you don't need too many minor pieces to make sure that everything's defended properly. So king c2, and then something like... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. We're going to go b3 now? Or maybe instead it makes sense to go... c4. I'm going to have to start playing faster. That's one thing I'm realizing right now. I am not playing very fast. In theory, we should not be losing this game. It is pretty imbalanced. We do have, you know, we're down an exchange, technically, but we're up a piece. Okay? He's going to go after this pawn. He's not going after this pawn. Interesting choice. Let's defend it this way. It's the move I wanted to play. I'm going to move my king to d2. I'm going to move my pawn to b3, and everything's going to be super safe. I do think I have a habit of trying to keep everything on the board. I think that's a very beginner player habit to have, to be honest. Maybe if you guys are watching and you guys are realizing, oh, this seems to be the case, maybe let me know. Let me know what you think. There is the option for him to go a4. So if he doesn't play a4 next move, I'm going to try to go a5 and close that in fully. Maybe I can even go knight. So, okay, like I said, a5. And then I can try using my knights to make progress as well. Knight b5 looks very promising. Just off first glance. And boom, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. These two pieces work together to isolate that rook completely, and now that rook is just out of the game. There's nothing to be said, nothing to be done. And I can just try to reroute my other knight to e1, to c2, and boom, I will have a piece pawn. That is actually really nice. I really like what I just did there. I'm very proud of that. I'm really curious what the engine's gonna say at the end of this game in terms of how I played. Um, let's see, what's a good square for my pieces? Now is not the time to play slowly. Let's go here. I'm gonna try to go on to c6. Fork the knight, the king, and the bishop. He probably will see that. But we're also going to be forking this pawn on a5. So progress being made, slow and steady. Honestly, if I can take between the bishop and a5, I will definitely take the pawn on a5. I don't need to trade. What I need to do is win material. So let's do this. Perhaps now is a good time to go here, though, but just go after the pawns. They're free. Why not? And I am losing on time, slightly. Okay, he's just letting me take pawns. It's an interesting play style. We're going to just make progress with the pawns. And it's going to be very hard to stop. Very hard to stop these pawns. They just march forward, man. I think I can just pre-move this next move, technically, unless he goes bishop d1, d2, sorry, which would be kind of funny. But I can essentially just pre-move pushing these pawns. And it looks like a win. Like, I think this is resignable for black. So, hey, really interesting game this time around. Definitely a little bit longer than game one. Let's take a look at what the engine says afterwards. Honestly, we can go here and just sack some pieces. Oh, shoot. Shoot. That is not good. That is not good. Hey, it's never too late to choke. Never is too late to choke. I'm trying to go for knight f5. I still should win this game. My excuse can be that I'm giving up a pawn to make conversion easier or something like that. Not that I need an excuse. Yeah, here there's really not much to be done. If he goes here, then I have this. I also have this. So either knight e7, kicking out the rook. Well, actually, knight e7 doesn't do much, because then I can't win the pawn. I can instead just go here. And I'll go rook a1. Obviously keeping my promotion threat. And then knight takes on d6 is imminent. With check. We're going to go here. And we're going to threaten check again. And this should just win me the game, I believe. Let's go here. I'm going to lose a knight, sure. Let's go this way. Boom. Maybe I should try to make sure that he doesn't promote anything. So we'll go right here. Okay, we'll go right there. And yeah, this should be fairly elementary, I believe. My dear Watson, as Daniel Naroditsky would say. Let's go this way. Okay, well, my game plan is now to just, oh, shoot, win these pawns. Maybe it's not elementary. Man, I made this hard for myself. Oh, shoot! I'm gonna lose. Oh, thank God. I'm not gonna lose.
Oh my goodness, this bishop coming in clutch. I also have 10 sec. Oh my god, I'm so stressed now. Wait, there's no way I lose this game, right? There's no way. Oh, okay, that's mate. Oh, thank goodness. Oh my god. That was terrifying. Okay, well, it's not mate yet, but it will be. Oh my goodness. No! Oh, that's so tragic. I have to learn how to pre-move. I have to learn how to pre-move. Yo, my heart's beating like crazy. Well, it is what it is. It was a hell of a game. Wow. That's sad. That is sad. Whew. Let's analyze. Okay, well, game review says I played with 81% accuracy, my opponent 78, so pretty good game. And let's see what the moves were. So we had e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and it was a 4-knight Scotch, so fairly standard stuff. This move here, this bishop d6 looked weird to me, and I was right to play d5, best move, and if you look at the engine, it already is plus 0.9, almost plus 1 for white. Here, I had to play a3 apparently to conserve my advantage, but this bishop g5 move is the second best move. I'll give myself a pass here. Bishop g5, my idea was pretty fair. Knight g6, best move. So my opponent obviously had some level of experience with this opening. And here, bishop d3 just gives away all the advantage. So I should have tried immediately going h4, which was my idea. Or even knight b5, which was another idea I had. So both ideas that I was considering looked pretty good to me. But here, I decided to develop my light squared bishop and prepare for castling instead. And as you saw later on, I didn't even castle kingside, so not necessarily the most important thing in the world. Kind of just following fundamental principles of chess, though, with bringing your pieces out early. And here, he castled, and now I play h4, which is the best move in the position. Responds with h6, and I apparently should have played h5 to conserve my advantage. h5 is interesting. The rationale is that if takes, the rook's completely open, and I'm pretty sure that that would be crushing. So, for example, if takes, yeah, white's already +2. So after h5, their best move is actually moving away their knight to f4, and then allowing me to just take one of these knights, and the game continues as such. So that's not what happened. I just retreated with the bishop, and this leads to a pretty equal game. Afterwards, bishop c5 was played, and I pushed h5, because why not? The knight moves out of the way. I took. Apparently, I had knight takes on e5, which, yeah, I did see this afterwards was a free pawn. And it is what it is. I didn't take the free pawn. But ultimately, I was able to win the pawn back. Rook h4 was a mistake. So let's try to understand why. Rook h4, if they just play d6 apparently, this is bad. Let's play some regular moves. Let's say I played queen d2, which I wanted to play. Now they're saying knight g4. Oh, and yes, I did see this. And my logic was that I can play rook h4 to prevent this move, but by going d6, they allow knight to g4 anyways. So that is the one thing I missed. So instead of going rook h4, it says I should have just gone e5, move the knight out of the way, and then this is no longer a threat. Very interesting, very interesting. That's something I'll definitely remember. Okay, so after this, they played a6, didn't realize the problem. Here I go queen d2. I missed another opportunity to go e5 again, and I don't know how I didn't see e5. e5 is a very obvious looking move in this situation. It pushes the knight. The knight has very few squares, pretty much none besides going backwards. It's a very, very obvious move. So I'll have to remember pawn pushes in the center as well. If you guys have tricks or tips you use to help with knowing when to push pawns especially, definitely let me know. It's one of the parts of my game that I think I struggle with the most, knowing how to play with my pawns. So yeah, I'd be open to advice or feedback for sure. So here I go queen d2 attacking the hanging pawn, and here my opponent goes d6. Although now this move doesn't carry as much venom because I can take, and here I'm just up. I'm just winning completely. The engine says I'm +5 almost, and I trade the queens, and now I'm just much, much better. And somehow I managed to not win this. Oh God, what have I done? It does happen with time, and it's okay. I think I will get better with the time as the longer I do this series. I usually play 15-10 games when I play Rapid, so 10-0 will take some getting used to. Anyways, here I think I played fairly well. I played a lot of the right moves. The idea, generally speaking, behind my moves were just making sure everything was defended, making sure my opponent didn't have any threats, and in the position that proceeded here, I realized that I can just trap my opponent's rook in, and I managed to do that and just win the exchange, which is fantastic. And here I'm just completely winning. I'm curious if I had any obvious wins, any ways to win pieces. Here I definitely could have done a better job of converting. This was a silly mistake. Here it's already mate in 7. All I had to do was go rook of b1 first and then push this pawn. Now that is very obvious, and I'm very, very sad to have missed that. Guys, I am 1600. There are moments where I feel like I am a 1200. There are moments I feel like I am a 600. So bear with me on this journey. Hopefully those moments will be few and far between, especially the further we go on. But early on, it might happen from time to time, as you guys just saw. Although here, apparently I had rook b1 check. Rook b1 check? Really? Giving up the pawn. Okay, there's some sort of mate. I'm not expecting to see that. I think rook a1 is a very logical move. And here I probably should have just promoted, to be honest. I feel like this would have been a much easier win. You know, I'm not talking about the best move, but I'm talking about just what's easy, and this seems super, super, super straightforward. I don't know why I didn't promote. I moved my knight instead, allowing my opponent to go to the corner. And here I just literally, I'm up a full rook, and somehow I found a way to lose that full rook. Where did I lose the rook? Well, first of all, I lost the pawn. I found a way to lose a full rook here. That was silly. That was just really silly. I got so lucky I didn't lose this game. Honestly, I'm happy with the draw. This bishop on c6 was my lifesaver. And yeah, I mean, here I should be able to find a quicker win. I had 5 seconds, though. I'm going to give myself a pass just because of that. But it is a shame. But ultimately, I think I'm pretty proud with how I played. I think there are lessons to be learned. So knowing and recognizing when to push a pawn and attack pieces, displace pieces, I should say. And the other big thing is understanding that there are always going to be moves that should be considered from my opponent. So, for example, when I played rook h4, I should have seen that d6 was possible to still make my opponent's plan happen of going knight g4. So, two big things I think that I'll take away and I'll keep in mind. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a shame it ended up not being a win, but it is what it is. Like I said in the first video, many games. Hopefully many wins, but definitely losses and draws along the way as well. It is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing it. Totally free to do, and you'll be able to keep up with me on this journey. And definitely like the video as well. I would appreciate it a ton. It helps with growing the channel. And it's a brand new channel, so let's see how far this could go. Until tomorrow, have a good one. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.